Hello and welcome to Flagstaff TV. Today we are joined by Richard Herbert, who is the CEO of Angus Energy. Richard, thank you so much for joining us today.
Very good to be here, Catherine. Thank you for the opportunity.
Can you please start by telling us how things are going at Brockham, where you have recently restarted production?
Certainly I can. So we put out an RNS last week announcing the successful restart of production at Brockham after quite a long gap. We've put one well, the 2Y well, back on production after a repair. We had to replace the tubing, the production tubing, and the pump rods, and repair the pump, and basically get the well in a fit state to be producing again. And we were pleased to announce last week that the well was back in production and was producing at about 120 barrels of fluid a day. And our initial measurements suggest that about 40% of that is oil and about 60% is water, which is more or less what we expected. So far, so good. It seems to be steady at that rate. 40% of 120 barrels a day means that we're producing somewhere close to 50 barrels a day of oil, which is very good. We initially thought we would maybe only be able to operate during daylight hours, but we've had the well on 24-hour operations, and we intend to keep it that way. And our plan is to run the well until the end of July in what we call phase one, which is just really to establish that we have what we consider commercial flow rates from the well, which at the moment we do. And if that is successful, we'll make some more upgrades to the facilities, but modest ones, which should allow us to then sustain 24-hour production going forwards. So far, things are looking really good at Brockham. We're very pleased with the results to date.
It sounds like it's going very well. Now, what does this success mean for Angus Energy going forward?
Well, I think we have to put Brockham in perspective. 40 or 50 barrels of oil a day, although oil prices are very good, it's not a significant revenue stream. But the first thing it does for us, having made a lot of progress with our operations at Saltfleetby and with our stabilizing our financial position, putting Brockham back on production allows us to sort of plug a big hole that we had, because obviously when you have an oil field that has costs associated with it and no production, then that's a negative revenue. And this will allow us to start generating cash from Brockham, and on our modeling will generate some free cash from this. It won't be significant, but it means that it will cover its costs, and it'll give us information about the reservoir that could point to us doing additional work to bring another well on production that could increase production further. So I think this is just another step in the process that we're following at Angus to sort of turn things around and improve the profitability of the business, with the ultimate gain objective, obviously, of creating value for our shareholders.
Of course. Richard, do you have any other updates that you'd like to share with us today?
Well, a few things that I'd just like to mention since we have the opportunity. In addition to Brockham, we continue to operate at Saltfleetby successfully. We have our 3 wells on production. And we are in the process, as we've mentioned before, of looking at opportunities for additional wells in the Saltfleetby reservoir. And I think we will be able to make a decision on that in the coming months. So we continue to do those evaluations. Another piece of good news for Saltfleetby is that people probably recall that when the field was initially redeveloped, there was along with the initial loan to build the facilities and drill an additional well, there was some financial hedges put on the gas production, which were quite onerous because they were at the then prices of around 40p a therm. And those hedges are with us until June 2025. But fortunately, at the end of June 24, they dropped from 1.5 million therms a month to 1.25 million therms a month. So as of the end of this month, we are gaining 250,000 therms a month at current gas prices, which are obviously a lot higher than 40p. So that's a good financial benefit for Angus that's coming up. The other update, I think as people know, we have ordered a booster compressor, which is a significant investment in the field. That compressor is under construction in the US, and it will be delivered to the site in the fourth quarter of this year. And once we put that on stream, it means that we can basically suck all of the gas out of Saltfleetby over the remaining life of the field. It'll allow us to take the field right down to what we call abandonment pressure of just a few bar. And so we'll be very effective in maximizing the recovery from the reservoir. So that project's going well. And we continue to have a strong constructive relationship with Trafigura, our lenders and off-takers. And then finally, I can't go into details, obviously, on this call, but as we've previously announced, we're looking hard at growth opportunities for Angus, which are outside our current portfolio, and in fact, inside our current portfolio. We're trying to unlock a well test on one of our other oil fields in the south of England, at Brockham, which at the moment is the subject of an appeal by residents to overthrow our permission to test. We are working with the government to try and move that one forward. And we're continuing to look at some inorganic opportunities, either to buy assets to grow the company or combinations of the company with other companies that would allow us to grow. So we have a lot on our plates. It's a very exciting time, but feels like we're making progress.
Certainly sounds like it, Richard. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Catherine.
And thank you for watching Flagstaff TV.